The sheriff confronted me directly and declared, "He's disappeared." They dismantled the search teams, folded their maps, and departed as if it were an ordinary workday. My wife remained on our cabin porch, enveloped in herself as though protecting against shattering. Her voice trembled through the quietness. "You were supposed to be guarding him." She didn't require a reply. Instead, she passed me by, luggage in tow. She avoided casting a glance back at me. Our son had been absent for 3 weeks, and they ceased the search. Everyone did, except me. I once believed the woods offered safety. We relocated here to grant Evan space for roaming, breathing, flourishing. No traffic, no sirens, only trees, wind, and time. Once, we were content. I recall Evan's laughter resounding through the foliage as he navigated that miniature blue vehicle along the trails. His mother would sit on the porch engrossed in a book, while I pretended to be the pursuing vehicle. We formed a family. Until that fateful day. In the span of about 3 minutes, I looked away. A message from my contractor awaited. When I glanced back, Evan was missing. The forest didn't respond when I called for him. No footprints, no torn clothes, no evidence of a struggle. He was simply gone. The sheriff suggested animals often take children, stating his chances of surviving the first night were slim. Yet, an uneasy feeling lingered. The gate remained locked. There were no signs of wildlife, no blood, just an eerie quiet. My wife, Rachel, grew distant each day. Her grief transformed into accusations, then contempt. Eventually, she left. Despite this, I continued my search every day. Last night, I had a dream. Evan standing under the cedar tree near the South Trail, clutching his toy truck, his eyes wide with fear and whispering, "Help me, Daddy." Awakening before sunrise, I returned to that spot one more time. There, hidden beneath damp leaves by the same cedar, I found it. Evan's blue tow truck, muddy, scratched, but undeniably his. My hands trembled as I picked it up. Then something changed. A compact scrap of paper, tightly folded, slipped from the driver's seat. Crayon scribble, shaky and thick. It said, "I need help, Dad." Below it, in smaller characters, he led me to the green door. My heart faltered. Green door? No one but us resided within 20 miles, except there was Gary, our neighbor over the ridge, a retiree, courteous, silent, seemingly harmless. Yet, he'd always given off an eerie vibe. He never spoke to Evan, never waved, and one night, months ago, I spied him standing in the tree-line, watching our house. He smiled when I saw him, didn't even startle, just turned and vanished back into the woods. I informed Rachel. She thought me paranoid. I went home and examined the topo maps. There it was, Gary's hunting cabin. Not his primary residence. Deeper in the forest. I hadn't been there before. I waited for nightfall, grabbed my flashlight, and my father's old Smith & Wesson. With each step through those trees, the weight seemed to multiply. The air grew colder, quieter. I spotted it then, a decaying structure concealed by overgrowth and decay, bearing a green door. My breath hitched as I moved closer, the ease with which the handle turned adding to my unease. The stench assailed me first, mildew, urine, something sinister lurking beneath. Stepping inside, the flashlight pierced through the layers of dust and cobwebs, illuminating a child's shoe, Evan's shoe. My legs gave way, and I pressed forward despite my trembling knees. Room after room revealed no sign of him, but the walls bore countless drawings made with crayons on old wallpaper, stick figures, some weeping, others silenced by red scribbles over their mouths. A single word was repeated in shaky letters, quiet. I documented every square inch, then discovered a hidden hatch beneath a rug and padlocked shut. Without hesitation, I aimed my gun and fired, the lock exploding. It led to a cramped space containing a mattress, a bucket, blankets, and discarded candy wrappers. No sign of Evan, but I knew. I contacted the sheriff, shared my findings, the photos, a note. His complexion paled, his hands trembling as he summoned backup. 12 hours into his interrogation the following morning, they apprehended Gary. He confessed after 4 attempts. Over a decade, he fathered 3 children, one of whom was discovered buried behind a house he previously owned. Another remains missing, and Gary claimed to have released Evan. Yet, he never revealed Evan's whereabouts. 6 days later, I received a call from a ranger in 2 separate towns, informing me that they found a boy by the river. He was barefoot, undernourished, covered in insect bites, but alive. It was Evan. Upon spotting me, he crumbled into my arms and wept, whispering, "I followed your instructions. I knew you'd rescue me." Rachel returned that evening, tears streaming down her face more intensely than ever. She expressed regret countless times. I nodded, assuring her it wasn't her fault. However, something within me had transformed when she departed. Shattered the day, she stared straight into my eyes and uttered, "You let him die." Gary's trial was open to the public. Rachel took her seat next to mine, while Evan stayed with my sister for safety. Gary refused to look at me until the verdict was read. Guilty on all charges. He is imprisoned permanently, yet it wasn't enough for me. I waited 6 months. Rachel attempted to re-enter our world. She delivered presents, suggested overnights, feigned ignorance of the past. One evening after Evan dozed off, she appeared in the doorway of the guest room and softly asked, "Do you still love me?" I gazed at her, silent for an extended period, then handed her a file. Photos, the letter, all that she doubted. Her hands trembled as she skimmed through them. "I abandoned you," she admitted, tears welling up. "Yes," I replied coldly. And I remained. Rachel moved out the following morning for good. This time, I didn't prevent her departure. It's just Evan and me now. We consume breakfast on the porch, taking in the wind rustling through the trees. Sometimes he plays with his vehicle. Sometimes he merely watches the woods. He is recovering gradually. And myself? I sit under the weight of silence. However, my anger has dissipated. In its place remains a quiet pledge. If anyone ever attempts to take him from me again, I won't need another note.